I returned my Samsung S90D OLED gaming TV, and just TV in general, but it was ranked the best gaming TV from what I looked up online. And don't get my credit card numbers in the shot. What is that? Okay, we're good. Here's the deal. This is my Vizio. Why did it magically move beyond the title screen? I don't know why it didn't do that last time. This is my Vizio that about 10 years ago, I had to go back to this, and I'll tell you why. Because the Samsung had amazing viewing angles. The picture was better than I've ever seen. The viewing angles were amazing, and it just always, this Vizio ain't too freaking bad either, right? But there was one little problem I had with it, and a couple others that I'll tell you about too. But by the way, I did get my, don't pay attention to that. There's a cricket. But anyways, got my first gaming PC. Let me know if you want a review about that. It's MSI, and it's actually not that bad. It's actually really cool to me. Oh, we are zoomed in, aren't we? So here's the deal. I like this. Let me preface this. My eyes like this. I love the picture of the OLED screen. It's amazing that for, okay, I said $1,000. It's $1,200, $1,300, whatever. I round it up, round it down. It's like $1,300 for the OLED 55-inch Samsung, the S90D. And the thing is, it has great input lag. So does this Vizio. But it hurts my eyes. The Samsung TV hurts my eyes. And I don't mean for it to. You know, the day after I made that review, on my last review of the TV, my eyes were burning, and I thought it was allergies, right? But then the next day, the day after that, it kept burning, and I noticed it mostly when I was gaming, mostly when I was on my TV. So I don't know what it is. Let me know if anybody else does this, is like this. It might be because my eyes. Last July, I did go to an optometrist that said, you need glasses. I haven't needed glasses ever. When I drive at night, yeah, very, very bright lights, brighter than they actually are. My eyes perceive them as brighter, but so maybe that's why. Maybe my brain doesn't like the OLED because it's like really, really dark blacks, and then all of the whites are literally glowing, which makes it a super vibrant picture. But see, this Vizio, the blacks are not even black. And honestly, I know a lot of people rant and rave about the contrast. I think my brain doesn't like contrast. This TV, I actually messed with the contrast when I first got it, several years ago. And by the way, what's interesting is that Samsung, I was using that Samsung for like a week and a half before I plugged this thing back in, and this still kept all of my settings. So the memory in this thing, it kept all of the settings, which is pretty interesting, I thought. Which I guess it makes sense, even though it was unplugged. I guess they have computers in them nowadays. But that's the other thing, is I wonder if that Samsung OLED, maybe it wasn't the contrast that hurt my eyes. Maybe it's because there's so much technology in it. Maybe it has some processing stuff that my brain is picking up on that you can't tell to the naked eye, but it just fatigues your eyes. Anybody else experience this? Because I did mention in my last video that even when I bought this Vizio 10 years ago, I was shopping around, I tried out Samsungs, I tried out Sonys, they weren't OLED. And same thing, they burned my eyes. There's another common factor, they were 55-inch, this is 49. So I don't know if that makes a difference. On that note, 55-inch TVs usually give you higher refresh rates. So I went with the 55 on that Samsung. I thought it was going to be too big. Actually, no. It actually wasn't that big. Now, I do see my head kind of moving around more than it should. Like, I'm looking over here, look over here. But I just sat back a little bit farther away. And so, anyway, that's the thing. But I will show you, too, if I can go to the home screen on this. Something else I noticed that's different from Samsung, which, by the way, now that I'm a PC gamer, I'm impressed by how well did that. I use controller. It's like a glorified console to me. How I'm using this thing. Sorry to my neighbors below. Okay, let me close this out. Delete. So I'm gonna close that out. And I wanna show you something because this is interesting. Well, this is actually interesting. It's just like Xbox, it's pretty awesome. But no, we're gonna Alt F4 that. So this is right here. So this TV is not OLED. And one thing I noticed, because I got my PC, when I first got my PC a week ago, I was only on the Samsung TV, so I had only experienced this on the Samsung TV. Now I'm using my PC on the Vizio. I did not know this background had these designs in it. Because with the Samsung TV, the darks were so dark. I mean, I think I saw a little bit of that, but with this TV, I see everything way more vividly. I did not even know it was like all of this. So that's interesting. And on another note too, with the Samsung brightness, you all, I don't know why it hurt my eyes, right? I was like, okay, maybe it's the brightness. Let's turn down the brightness. And I turned down the brightness, but go too low on the brightness and you don't see the difference between the darks and the whites. They start to, you know what I mean? It's what happens when things get dark. It looked too dark. I tried to play with the contrast because I was like, okay, maybe it's too much contrast. And so I made it to where it's a little bit brighter, not so light and dark. I also turned down the color because somebody had suggested turning down the color. It was still fatiguing my eyes. And I went to, on the Samsung, you can actually change the tone and click warm. Warm felt a little better, I will say, because somebody did say maybe it's your blue light sensitivity, whatever. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I just know this Vizio doesn't have that problem. Okay. I will also say with the Samsung TV, I was bragging in my last video about how I plugged in my PS5. It automatically knew I had PS5, which was pretty freaking amazing. I didn't have to assign it to an input and go through the list like I do on my Vizio, you know, these older school TVs, I guess, where you have to go through a list. However, that didn't work all the time. And sometimes I wanted an input button on the Samsung because sometimes it would only show the PS5, even though I have the PlayStation connected as well. And I couldn't find the computer. Sometimes the PS5 wouldn't show up, and I had to go to their menu, which was weird. It's not an input button. You go to menu, settings, connections, and you have to scroll through this thing. Some of the menus on the Samsung were a little bit more, I don't know, they rely too much on smart stuff. It's just not as straightforward sometimes. You know, like with this Vizio, I'm just gonna click on menu, and I get a menu. If I want the, picture, boom. It's pretty straightforward. You got to put it in game mode. The cool thing is with that Samsung, it was smart and knew when you were playing a console, it put it in game mode. Although I think there was one time my PlayStation, it wasn't in game mode. I had to click it and put it in game mode. So it wasn't always automatic. So some of that smart AI stuff, that was a little weird. But anyway, also I found out this TV, shout out to my cell phone carrier. They have a protection plan that you can get that covers stuff at the house. So I found out that I can actually do a claim on this, and they'll give me TVs to choose from, and they'll send me another TV. Or I can see if they can send me a check that I can go put towards another TV. So I'm gonna do that first before I decide on what TV I want. But unfortunately, it looks like I will be going on a TV journey. But also I am due for some glasses. I've never worn glasses, so I'm gonna try, I might try that Samsung again and get glasses. But the people, when I returned this, the people there did tell me it's a bright TV. The Samsung. I said, yeah, it's really bright. It was hurting my eyes. And they go, yeah, it's a bright TV. And it's like, yeah, people say they want bright, but they don't realize da-da-da-da. So I don't know. Maybe our TV is not as bright that I need to get. Maybe I don't need an OLED TV. But I will say also, the motion was amazing. Everything about the picture of that TV, except for how some things were too dark, I couldn't see. It was amazing. The motion, the movement was great. There was no light bleed. There was no nothing. This Vizio, I can't tell what it is, but when you move, it is a little blurry, a little choppy, but it's a 60 hertz. I don't know if that makes a difference, but, so yeah, anyway, I just wanted to fill everybody in on that, on the Samsung TV, and, why I returned it. Return process was pretty easy, although the thing was, I'm gonna sleep good because my legs, my back, oh my God. I'll be taking ibuprofen today and tomorrow, probably the next day, because that was physical. But yeah, for now, I'm back on the Vizio. The only thing is with the Vizio, you can't tell when I move in a game. You can tell there's like 3 white lines now. You can see them faintly. You couldn't really see it before. They've just gotten worse. But yeah, any questions, let me know.